'Tis the season for family, travel, and a little pre-holiday hoops. Those are the storylines as South Dakota State visits the pit in Albuquerque to take on the 16th ranked New Mexico Lobos. Welcome into the pit, everyone. Along with Hunter Green, we wish you a very Merry Christmas for you and your family. It's been a miserable couple of days for South Dakota State, Hunter, after losing to Belmont in Nashville on Wednesday. Their flight was canceled because of the blizzard in the Midwest. They got on a bus and rode the entire 1,200 miles to Albuquerque, and they come here with their number one player, Nate Walters, still battling a bad ankle injury.
Yeah, you know, they passed the first test, and that's getting here. Now they've got to face the New Mexico, 16th ranked New Mexico team here in the pit. You know, Walters is someone that Lobos really need to be concerned about. This kid is actually a pro player. We've got a lot of scouts here this afternoon to watch him play, so Lobos really need to be aware of where he is on the court.
11 NBA scouts requested credentials for this game. And it's an opportunity not only to see Walters, but maybe for one of the Lobos to kind of raise some eyebrows. And Kendall Williams was fabulous the other night in Las Cruces, right. 24 points.
I mean, you mentioned that. It's a great opportunity for some of the New Mexico kids to really get a good look from the NBA scouts. I mean, right now, Kendall Williams has been playing good basketball, solid, taking care of the ball, and he's really been a leader on the court.
It's the last non-conference showdown at home for the Lobos. Ho, ho, ho. We'll be back to the pit for the tip-off in a moment. Tonight's keys to the game are brought to you by Larry H. Miller Dealerships. Let's give the keys for both teams, Hunter.
Defensively, New Mexico needs to know where Walters is at all times, and also they need to be aware of Dykstra. This kid can score the ball as well. Secondly, guard penetration. The New Mexico Lobos need to be able to get inside and penetrate and create opportunities for themselves. And then free throws. They really want to get to the free throw line, and that's where they're going to control this basketball game. For the Jackrabbits, they really want to push tempo, get up and down the floor. And as I say that, they also need to take care of the ball. The rock. I mean, you're looking at you're in the pit. And New Mexico can really cause turnovers in this environment.
All right, that was the keys to the game, brought to you by Larry H. Miller Dealerships. For the lowest price, highest service, and ultimate value on your vehicle, visit the 5 locations in Albuquerque. Larry H. Miller Dealerships, driven by you. The injury report brought to you by UNM Hospitals, the official healthcare provider of the Lobos. Again, Nate Walters, a sprained ankle. Everybody pretty healthy for the Lobos. UNM Women's Services team of experts provide New Mexico with high-quality, compassionate health care 24/7 in a patient and family-friendly focused environment. Visit hospitals.unm.edu today. Developing story for the Lobos and their starting lineup. The Lobos do not have Kendall Williams or Chad Adams in the lineup. We have not been told why. So Cleveland Thomas and Cam Bairstow get the start for South Dakota State. Nate Walters will start, even though last night on my radio show, his coach, Scott Nagy, said he might not. So he is in the lineup, and the Lobos will have to watch out for him.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? I mean, he's missed 2 games this season already due to the ankle injury, so maybe he came back a little too soon. We'll see tonight, this afternoon.
Well, a couple of redheads, I guess, jumping it up at center court. Fegan for South Dakota State, Alex Kirk, and the Lobos control. And they'll have the possession first as we are underway from the pit. Glad you're with us. Tony Snell fires from the right wing, and that one is no good. And a rebound to South Dakota State, and here comes Nate Walters. Everybody thinks he will be a high draft pick in the NBA. Jump shot on the way by 42. That's Dykstra, and that's out. He shoots 50%, 51% from three-point range. So neither team scores in their first possession. Snell tried to get it to Kirk, batted out of bounds. By 12, Braden Carlson, also a starter in all 13 games.
You can see New Mexico Lobos have a height advantage inside. This South Dakota State team doesn't have much height, but they're very scrappy.
Kirk trying to back down his defender, that's Dykstra. Got it back outside. Thomas into Bairstow, a little hop, and gets the left-hander to go. Might have gotten away with the travel there, but the Lobos will take it, and they have the early lead.
Well, New Mexico recognizes a height advantage inside and went to the big guy. Bairstow scores a great hustle play by Cleveland Thomas.
Thomas getting his first start. Again, we'll try to find out why Williams and Adams not in the starting lineup. But Cleveland Thomas takes advantage of his playing time. Outside Hugh Greenwood for three. That's a little bit long. Bairstow kept it alive, and Kirk tracks it down. The Lobos will get a fresh 35.
As you can see, I mean, he didn't have position, but the coaches teach the big guys is you just want to tap it back out to your teammate, and that's exactly what Cameron Bairstow did there.
Greenwood forcing the action, and he got a foul on Walters. So early, Nate Walters has his first foul, first team foul on South Dakota State. And Hugh Greenwood will go to the free throw line to shoot two. Greenwood on the season 65% at the line. The Lobos as a team 76%. That is third in all of Division I college basketball.
It's pretty good.
Already Dykstra checks out for South Dakota State, and Marcus Heemstra, 6'9" junior from Rock Valley, Iowa, in the game. South Dakota State has 6 players from the state of South Dakota on their roster. Greenwood hits 1 out of 2, 3-0 Lobos. Walters, little runner, nice touch.
And that just gives you an example of what Walters can do. I mean, he got great ball penetration and shoot the outside jumper. So they're going to need some help side defense, New Mexico.
This kid is the real deal. He's got 11 30-point games in his career. He is a senior and looking to be drafted in the first round of the NBA draft. Kirk a little short on a jump shot, and they're going to get Bairstow going over the back, trying to get the offensive rebound.
Yeah, that time he did get boxed out, but unfortunately he was reaching over the South Dakota State player and got called for it over the back.
Cam's first, team's first on the Lobos. So here comes Walters across the timeline. Drives in, dishes it out, and that is Chad White. Chad White with a three-pointer, and South Dakota State has the lead. 5 consecutive points for the Jackrabbits. Snell tried to get it inside to Kirk, knocked away. Turnover for Snell. Here comes South Dakota State again in their dark blue, looks almost black. Walters with the missed shot, and Bairstow a rebound.
New Mexico needs to be very careful with the ball because this South Dakota State team is very scrappy to get their hands in the passing lanes.
Greenwood, little fadeaway jumper. That's a little short. Thomas flying in for the rebound, and now we'll get called for the foul with a little extra exuberance, trying to get it away from White.
It's good effort, but that's a freshman move. I mean, he goes after the rebound, he doesn't get it. He sticks his hand in the cookie jar there and gets called for a reach.
Second team foul in the Lobos. He was actually trying to get it away from Heemstra. So Heemstra sets that screen on Greenwood, and this is what concerned Coach Alford. He said pick and roll. We'll see more pick and roll from this team than we have seen from any team that the Lobos have faced this year.
They're a lot like the team Davidson that New Mexico played earlier.
Walters got it inside Heemstra. Left-hand hook up, no good. Dykstra was there for a rebound. Kirk knocked it away. Alex went barreling into the first row of the stands, but South Dakota State gets it. Take it outside to Dykstra. His three-pointer is short. Tony Snell with a rebound, and now a reach-in foul on Tavon Prince, 6'3" sophomore from Toronto, as both teams getting called for fouls just reaching in after a rebound.
Yeah, looking at the matchup with Dykstra and Alex Kirk, Alex there battling for the ball. He dives out of bounds to save it to South Dakota State, but Dykstra poses problems because he can also take Alex Kirk outside. So when you look at Dykstra, he's an inside outside type of player.
Demetrius Walker checks in for the Lobos. So still no Adams, still no Williams, with 4 minutes having elapsed. We'll see if how long these penalties last. Thomas with a pull-up jump shot. That's off the front of the rim. Greenwood tracks down an offensive rebound. Walker for three, and that's no good. And the Lobos have started out shooting the ball very poorly in the opening couple of minutes. Down the lane goes Jake Biddle in. Recovered by South Dakota State, and the pass back out, and a three-pointer by Braden Carlson, 6'4" junior from the hometown of South Dakota State. Brookings knocks down a three, and it's 8-3. the Jackrabbits.
New Mexico fans are getting a little antsy, saying, come on.
Inside, Bairstow, and Cam scores. He's got the 2 Lobo field goals so far in this game.
And I would think that New Mexico would look to get the ball inside. I mean, they've got a huge height advantage inside, so.
Dykstra misses another 3. Greenwood secures another rebound. Walker again, that was way off from 3-point range. And the Lobos have started ice cold from the floor, and as a result, trail 8-5. Biddle charges the free throw line, gets it outside to Tavon Prince. Offensive rebound, South Dakota State. Now back out, and that is Biddle for 3. He was just 4 for 17 coming into this game from 3-point range.
Good
buries that one.
That was very good ball movement by South Dakota State. And the Lobos need to really close out and be aware where their 3-point shooters are, because they're just lighting it up right now.
South Dakota State 3 out of 7 from 3-point range early. Kirk trying to get position inside, and they'll get Dykstra for a foul, and we have reached our first timeout. 14:27 to go. The Lobos ice cold from the floor. South Dakota State has hit 3 threes, and they lead by 6 in the pit. You're watching Lobo basketball from Learfield Sports. Well, a little development here as we went to the timeout. Assistant coach Craig Neal called for a technical foul, so Nate Walters is going to go to the free throw line to try to extend South Dakota State's lead to 7, and he misses.
And that surprises me. First of all, it surprises me he misses it, but it surprises me that Coach Neal gets called for the technical. The ref didn't give a warning. I'm not sure what the technical is for, but you know, Coach Neal's oftentimes very vocal on the sidelines there, so he may have said something that really got under the skin of the referee. So,
well, Walters hits 1 out of 2, so it's now a 7-point lead, and the Lobos have the ball, and Kendall Williams into the game to inbound. Now, the last time he missed a start, he was benched for being late to a meeting. I don't know if that happened again. We haven't been told why, but Williams did not start, so comes in about 5 minutes into this game. Jamal Fenton also in, just swings that pass to Williams. Now inside to Kirk. Kirk went up, missed the shot, got his own rebound as it got knocked out of his hands, and put it back in.
Great look by Kendall Williams. I mean, that's where the matchup is this afternoon. Is Alex Kurt's got a huge height advantage inside. They need to get the ball inside. But as the Lobos get back on defense, they don't recognize where the 3-point shooters are, and they really need to close out.
Well, they're concentrating on Walters a whole lot, and Walters is doing a great job of distributing, and White hits that 3-pointer, and so it's 15-7 South Dakota State.
Yeah, this South Dakota State's tough. I mean, they played Alabama at Alabama and lost by 3. I mean, this is a team that actually lost here in the pit last spring to
Baylor in the
NCAA tournament. So they're not a, this is not a walkover. I mean, they're gonna come and you need to play against South Dakota State.
Well, foul trouble dictates that Chad Adams check back in, because that was Bairstow's second foul called on the offensive side on the moving screen. Walters down the lane, little floater, that's short, and Fenton will have a rebound. Lobos running 4-on-3. Williams pulls up from 3, and he missed it. Kirk trying to track down a rebound, gets it to Fenton.
Great save.
Yeah, Fenton saw 4 Jackrabbits in the lane, so he kicks it back out. It's it into Kirk. Kirk put it up off the side of the backboard. Kirk keeps it alive again. Fenton to Williams for the layup.
Left-hand layup to Kendall Williams. That play right there was Alex Kurt. Alex Kurt hustled for the ball a couple of times and tipped it out to his teammate, and he started that.
Lobo fans trying to help their team. Quick shot there by Fegan. That's no good. Here comes New Mexico running. South Dakota State gets back nicely. All 5 guys get back in the lane. Walker lost the handle. It went right to Adams. Lobos fortunate they didn't turn it over there.
All of a sudden, you can feel the energy here in the pit as the Lobos pick up the pace.
We played 7.5 minutes. South Dakota State 15, the Lobos 9. Fenton into the lane. Little fadeaway jump shot, and it will not fall. Bairstow knocks it out.
Another tap out. Actually, that was Alex Kurt.
Oh, yeah, Bairstow's out of the game. That's right. Adams for 3.
And all of a sudden now, the New Mexico Lobo fans have woken up this afternoon. Timeout, South Dakota State.
And Scott Nagy says, I will take a timeout here just to sort of quell this little Lobo uprising. But Alex Kirk has been incredibly active on the offensive glass.
He's really brought the energy here in the first half. You know, South Dakota State needs to be careful. This is the largest crowd they've played in front of this year, so they could be prone to turning the ball over. So when they come back out, they really need to take care of it. On the other hand, New Mexico, I think right now is an opportunity for them to really pick up the tempo and try to catch up and tie this game here in a couple of minutes in the game, in the second half here, the first half.
Shop your UNM bookstores during this holiday season for the greatest selection of everything Lobo. Go Lobos and go to your UNM bookstores, main campus, Central at Cornell, and on the North Campus in the Domenici Education Center, or online anytime at bookstore.unm.edu. There's Associate Head Coach Craig Neal. Probably a little sheepish right now, but he'll be back into it here in just a minute.
Yeah, just for a little bit. I mean, yeah, Coach Neal is very vocal, and so it wasn't a surprise that he got called for that technical.
All right, the 8-point lead down to 3. Inside it goes, Banyard into the game, and Prince lost it out of bounds, and now the media timeout under 12 minutes. Well, the Lobos have climbed back into this game after trailing. You're watching Lobo basketball from Learfield Sports. 15-12, South Dakota State. Sitting here with the president of Awesome, Hunter Green. I'm Scott Stigler. Welcome into the pit. The Lobos got off to a slow start, and South Dakota State using Nate Walters almost as a decoy early on here because he's doing a great job of distributing the basketball and getting it to guys who are open for jump shots.
Yes, I mean, what the New Mexico Lobos are doing is they're allowing him that penetration. So I would look for New Mexico to try to eliminate that guard penetration by Walters.
Walker with the miss on the baseline, and here comes Walters the other way. He gets down into the lane again, gets it inside to Fegan, and Fegan powers it up and scores.
He makes it look so easy. I mean, that's actually a sign of a good player when you see it, a kid that's pretty much, it's effortless when he attempts to do something. It's a sign of a pretty good player.
Fenton outside for 3, and the Lobos still have not made a 3-point shot. But they are really doing a good job of tapping the ball back out to teammates on the offensive boards.
Yep. Lobos sitting at 1 for 6 now from the 3-point line.
Well, that's right. Adams made the 3 a little bit earlier on. All right, Walker into the lane, gets it off to Chad Adams, but Demetrius pushed before he made the pass, and we've got another foul. 4th team foul on the Jackrabbits of South Dakota State.
You look at New Mexico team out there. They're pretty small. They've got 1 post player and 4 guards. So look for New Mexico to get more guard penetration here.
Personal foul was on Prince, his second team foul, second personal. Fenton on the outside on the wing. Looking for some help after picking up the dribble, finding Snell. Tony gets it off to Fenton. He'll take another 3-pointer, and that one is short. And Jamal is having a miserable time shooting the 3-point ball this year. He is now 3 for 20.
Credit South Dakota State. They're getting out, closing out on shooters. And Nate Walters gets called for an offensive foul. Looks like he dipped his shoulder into Jamal Fenton.
And that is 2 personals on Nate Walters. So now you find out whether Scott Nagy has the confidence in his senior to leave him out there and to not pick up that 3rd foul with 10.5 minutes to go in the first half. He's the guy that makes South Dakota State go, and if he's not in the game,
then it's trouble for himself. Yeah, it's a different game. Yep. No, I think the coach is giving him an earful right now. He wants to say, "Come on over here, tell me what happened here. Explain to me what happened. How did my player get?"
All right, so they're saying not Walters now, but they're saying the foul on Dykstra.
Maybe on the pick.
So that was Dykstra's first. Wipe out the second foul on Walters.
Huge. I mean, that's huge. I mean, all of a sudden you take their key player out of the game.
So they clarified, and it's not Walters' foul, it's Dykstra. So Dykstra with 1, Walters with 1, and the Lobos with the basketball. Snell got it inside to Banyard. He tried to fire it back to a cutting Williams, Williams wasn't ready for it, and that thing had a lot of mustard on it. It gets all the way down to the other end of the floor, and South Dakota State will inbound under the Lobo basket.
Yeah, right now it looks like New Mexico really didn't have a rhythm. I mean, this starting lineup change, I think that really affected New Mexico, and their rhythm is really off. This example of the kind of pass that Bayard tried to pass to Kendall Williams.
All right, let me make another correction. The foul was on Fegan, not Dykstra. Dykstra back in now. But Fegan got that foul. Fegan's first. South Dakota State with the ball. Nate Walters thought about a jump shot. Bayard on him right now. But got it to Carlson, and Carlson on the drive scores.
Nice, strong move to the basket. South Dakota State has really done a good job of penetration and getting to the rim.
All right, well, let's see if this Lobo lineup without Kirk in there and without Bairstow can get things going here. It's Lobo starters other than the regular starters other than those two.
And their tallest player comes out to shoot another three.
And Nick Bayard missed it. So here comes Walters again, little runner in the lane. Oh, he almost got it to go. And it looks like Hugh Greenwood going to be called with his first personal foul. Walters is going to go back to the line with a chance to give South Dakota State, SDSU, I keep thinking San Diego State, South Dakota State, their biggest lead of the game.
Yeah, I mean, I've looked at, watching here in the first 11 minutes of the game, Nate Walters really likes to penetrate, either get to the bucket or get to the free throw line. He really, I mean, that's been his game this afternoon. So the Lobos need to try to contain him, almost have someone else hedging to keep him out of the lane.
All right, so Kirk in, Bayard out. So this is the Lobos starting lineup that you're used to seeing. See if they can get on a little run here as Walters does give South Dakota State their biggest lead of the game. The lead is 9 at 21-12. The Lobos were down by 11 in Las Cruces at about the same mark on Wednesday night.
And that's when Kendall Williams came in and really picked it up the pace.
Tony Snell for three.
The first three-pointer they've hit in a long time. Now all of a sudden the crowd's kind of getting into it. It woke them up here.
Let's see if Walters can get his team back into a good offensive rhythm. Dykstra outside with Greenwood on him. He'll pull up for the jump shot, and he knocks it down. Rolled it all the way around the rim.
That's probably their second best player right there. New Mexico needs to be aware of. This kid can stick it from the outside, and he's tough inside. It's one of those players, 6'7", can kind of, inside out.
Williams down the lane, tried to get it to Greenwood, knocked out of bounds by Carlson. It'll stay with New Mexico. 8:14 to go, 23-15. South Dakota State with the lead here in the pit. This is a team that on Wednesday night at Belmont was even, tie score with 12 minutes to go. Saw Belmont go on an 18-0 run. They finished shooting 27%. Scott Nagy said it might have been the worst performance his team has had in his 18 years as the head coach.
Yeah, it surprises me because they seem to be very disciplined, very fundamentally sound. As you can see, a pass inside to Hugh Greenwood for a nice little floater.
Set up by Kendall Williams on the assists. South Dakota State showing no panic, getting it into Fegan. Fegan tried to get it up over Kirk. Kirk, I think, bothered that shot a little. I don't think he touched it, but forced a bad shot, and the Lobos with a chance to cut into the lead. Greenwood outside Adams. Didn't take the three-pointer as Fegan closed well.
South Dakota State's done a very good job of defending and keeping the Lobos from getting into the painted area.
Greenwood for three, and Hugh knocks it down. Back-to-back threes for UNM to cut the lead back to three very quickly. Walters, that'll quiet him a little bit.
I mean, he gets in that painted area every time.
Imagine what he'd be doing if his ankle wasn't bad. Good player.
Yep.
Good opportunity for the Lobos to see a great player on the other team. Knock away and a steal. And we got a traveling call.
Great hustle by the freshman Jake Biddle. He gets the ball and he jumps in the air a couple times before he's able to let the ball to his teammate, Nate Walters.
We've reached the under 8-minute timeout. It is 25-20. South Dakota State leading the Lobos at the pit.
You know, this game has been pretty even. It was just right now South Dakota State shooting a better percentage, but everything else pretty even.
South Dakota State shooting 47%. The Lobos at just 36. Lobos have hit 2 3-pointers to cut into the lead, but Nate Walters has been everything. 7 points and 4 assists as the Lobos miss. 7 points, 4 assists in 11 minutes, and that's the reason why South Dakota State has the lead in this game. On the wing, Fegan, and that is perfect. Nothing but net. 27-20, South Dakota State.
Right now, it looks like they're playing a kind of a matchup zone, or well, no, they're playing a man-to-man, but they're keeping that ball from getting inside the painted area. So credit to South Dakota State.
Snell down the lane, he got pushed, and I think they're going to get White even before Tony went up to shoot the basketball. So that'll be team foul number 6 on the Jackrabbits, the first on Chad White.
I think they called the foul in the act of shooting.
Well, I think that's a gift.
Oh yeah,
I think
that was on the floor.
I think so. And that's a real gift because Tony Snell, a great free throw shooter. Legacy Church donates $5 for each free throw made by the Lobos to Operation Smile of New Mexico. Visit Legacy Church at any of their 3 locations. And for more information on service times and programs offered, log on to legacychurch.com. Legacy Church, something more. Tony Snell shoots 87% from the free throw line and goes 2 for 2 that trip. Walters now squeezes it from 3 and buries it.
Makes it look so simple, that kid.
Wow, what a player. 10 points and 4 assists in 15 minutes of play. Outside Williams, a little bit of a double team. Dykstra dives back into the lane. Greenwood now gets inside, and he's going to be whistled. Or the whistle's going to be blown, and I think they're going to get Carlson for the foul.
And that's what New Mexico really needs to do, is have guard penetration, get into that painted area, make something happen. In worst case, get to the free throw line. That's kind of what South Dakota State's been able to do here in the first half.
So Greenwood to the line, 1-1, and he makes the first. 30-23, South Dakota State.
Talking to the coaches before the game, New Mexico coaches that is, their goal was to get to the free throw line this afternoon, and it's just they're now starting to do it here in the second half of the second part of the first half.
All right, Greenwood gets a lot of rim on that one. They lose Carlson, and Carlson knocks down the 3-point shot. And
Well, says that's enough. Yeah,
quick timeout. And I think the Lobos are going to get a real tongue lashing right now.
You know, and talking to the South Dakota State coaches, that's what they want to do. They want to push tempo and push the ball up the floor. And then if they've got a quick jump shot, quick 3, they'll take it. You know, this is a tough South Dakota State team that came here in the pit today. And I tell you, the New Mexico Lobos better pay attention. All of a sudden now they're down by 10. And South Dakota State's not going away very easily. I mean, you're going to have to bury these guys.
South Dakota State had an 8-point lead. The Lobos cut it to 3. They had a 9-point lead. The Lobos cut it to 3. Now they've got a 10-point lead. Let's see if the Lobos can get it going here. Bairstow on the inside, and this is the little running hook. And here come the Jackrabbits accelerating into the front court. Walters got Williams in the air, but had already committed to the pass. Now back into the hands of Nate Walters. Looking for some help, gets it off to White. White to Fegan, back to Walters. Williams still guarding him. 12 on the shot clock as Walters backs it out to reset. Walters now pulls up inside the 3-point line and knocks that one down.
He's feeling it.
He is smoking right now. Wow, what a player.
Yeah, it's funny. He's asked for a high pick like 2 or 3 times, and then actually makes that jump shot without a high pick.
You don't normally hear the pit this quiet, but it is definitely quiet right now. Bairstow a little baby hook in the lane, and the Lobos can get whatever they want in the paint right now.
Yeah, and they really need to pound it inside. And that's where, you know, they've been shooting too many threes here, I think, and that's not where they need to go. They need to get it inside to the big guys and try to either get to the free throw line or score some easy buckets.
Dykstra trying to make something happen, nothing there. Gets it back out to Walters, way over in front of the Lobo bench. 8 on the shot clock as Walters gets to the free throw line. Now gets it to Carlson. Carlson outside and misses it. Greenwood did a better job of.
There was better defense that time by New Mexico.
Snell pulls the quick trigger, and Tony Snell gets this crowd to its feet with a 3.
You know, when Tony gets comfortable out there, he really can shoot lights out. And South Dakota State needs to recognize they can't let him get comfortable.
5 straight points for New Mexico, and now they are going to get Walters with personal foul number 2. He got up in the air, and the Lobos take the charge. And as the teams head to the bench, well, now Scott Nagy has a decision to make. Do I sit Nate Walters for the rest of the 3:32 or not? Lobos down 7.
Well, it looks like here, coming out of the timeout, Nate Walters is going to stay in the game with 2 fouls.
All right, so Scott Nagy rolling the dice a little bit. Let's see if the Lobos, maybe noticing that, try to get a little isolation on him. Maybe try to get him to pick up his 3rd foul. Although I think Walters is going to be pretty heady about this. He knows how important he is to this South Dakota State team. Williams on a drive, and he stepped on the end line out of bounds.
Turns it over. New Mexico really needs to pride themselves. I guess they do pride themselves on defense, but they need to turn it up a notch here. I mean, the South Dakota State team shooting like 54% from the 3-point line.
Lobos help on Walters. Now Adams gets back over on Dykstra. Carlson out top to Fegan. Biddle into the game, gets it to Dykstra. Dykstra lost the handle, and Fenton comes up with a steal.
Good defense by Chad Adams.
Jamal Fenton gets it off to Williams, top of the circle. Thought about a 3 just for a second, but thought better of it. Lobos will work a little half-court offense. Fenton looking to try to get it into Alex Kirk. Swinging around to the left side instead to Williams, who drives. Gets Carlson in the air, but goes back outside to Snell. 13 on the shot clock as the Lobos reset.
Really good
Fenton,
defense here.
In between 2 guys, lost a dribble, got it up on the backboard, missed it, but Kirk tips it in.
Alex Kirk with the putback.
That is 4 offensive rebounds by Alex Kirk early on here. He's got a total of 5, 4 of them on the offensive end.
All of a sudden, the fans are starting to come out of their seats.
Biddle looking for some help. Says, get over here, All-American. Dykstra deep in the corner, throws it off of Adams, and that's another turnover. Lobos 5 on 3 right now. Fenton inside, put it up, was worried about the block shot and didn't go up strong and missed the shot.
Yeah, that was a missed opportunity by New Mexico. They had the numbers and they just couldn't convert.
Walters outside, air ball.
Air ball. Now he won't.
Wow.
He's not going to hear the end of that.
Well, I don't know if the Lobo fans can rattle him like they did Watson the other night for New Mexico State. They rode him the rest of the game. We'll see if it works on an All-American player, but that's highly unusual.
Hey, even the best of them shoots an air ball every once in a while, right?
Kendall Williams fade away, and the Lobos have climbed back to within 3 again.
Nice
with
shot.
A minute 25 to go.
Kendall Williams.
35-32, South Dakota State. Offensive foul, Fegan. Scott Nagy doesn't like that call. Fegan doesn't like it either.
That might be his 2nd.
It is. 19 foul on Fegan. Tony Fegan, 6'7" senior. Madison, South Dakota. Starter in 61 straight games, and right now the reigning Summit League Player of the Week for his performance against Montana. Double overtime win. Williams to tie it. Oh, it rattles out. That would have tied. And now with a minute to go, South Dakota State with the basketball.
You know, this South Dakota State team, they're playing like Coach told them, hey, listen, if you don't win this game, you're going to ride the bus back home.
Chad White knocks down a 3. So instead of the Lobos tying it, they're back down 6 again. Snell into the lane to Fenton. Fenton drives back out Snell. Wide open 3-pointer. and Tony couldn't get it to go, and Dykstra clears a rebound.
Very good ball movement by the Lobos, just couldn't convert.
Carlson by himself, he had an opportunity for a three, but he knew that the clock was in a position where they could run it down to about 5 seconds left. About a 6 second differential.
I think South Dakota's going to run it down to one shot here.
They'll have to shoot with about 6 seconds left or more. Biddle with the ball, 7 on the shot clock. Now he goes with the three-pointer, and he misses it. Adams, let's see if the Lobos can get a shot with 7 left. Kendall Williams into the front court. At the three-point line, yo-yos the dribble, now fades away, gets fouled, and it will not go in, but Kendall Williams is going to shoot free throws, and boy, Scott Nagy can't like that, fouling a jump shooter off balance at the buzzer.
Well, it was credit to Kendall Williams. He actually drew that foul with the head fake.
So Kendall Williams will go to the free throw line. The clock says 0, but Williams will get the 2 free throws. The foul is on Carlson, his second, 10th team foul. And now I think the referees are just trying to determine if via TV replay Williams got that shot off before the buzzer went off, but I don't think there's any question that he did.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was a shot or the whistle. The ref making that call before the horn sound.
So all of the Lobos, except for Kendall Williams, are in front of their bench, standing.
They're going back, looks like 4/10 of a second.
4 on the clock, so they'll put .4 back up. So the Lobos will...
I think they almost have to. I don't think you can shoot. Well,
you can get a tip, though.
No.
And I'm a little surprised that the Lobos aren't in tip position, because you can get a tip with .4 left. Williams makes the first. Maybe Steve Alford says, hey, he shoots 84%. He's just going to make both of them anyway.
But that's with his teammates on the line with him. What does he shoot without? I mean, that's something to consider. I'd have my players lined up.
Williams' second free throw is good. So it's 38-34.
4/10
as we go to the break. Well, South Dakota State maybe can run a play here. They'll throw a baseball pass to the other
arm
end.
This kid has.
See if they can get a tip. Greenwood grabs it, and that is the half. I thought the Lobos were down 6. I think it's 38-34. The scoreboards here in the pit say 38-33. But 38-34 now as we have reached halftime here at the pit in Albuquerque. South Dakota State and their star Nate Walters with 12 points and 6 rebounds lead at the half. All right, it looks like the king has taken off his crown for a holiday hat. He's trying to rally the Lobos as they get into the second half here. And one of the other things, Hunter, that we mentioned in the first half is how good a free throw shooting team the Lobos are. They've been to the line only 8 times in the first half. They actually average 22 makes a game.
Yeah, I mean, that's something we talked about early as one of the keys to the game for New Mexico is they really need to get to the free throw line. And that's one of the things that they've talked about and just really haven't done much of it in the first half.
And there is a look at Nate Walters, who last night on my radio show, the coach, Scott Nagy, said, I might not play him today because we just have to get him better from this ankle injury. And he says, as much as I know the scouts are going to be here, fans in the pit want to see him play, I've got to get my guy healthy for the conference season. Well, if he's hurting right now, boy, I think the conference better be on the lookout.
Yeah, I don't know if that was maybe a ploy by the coach, but, if your guy can walk and he can get out there and play, you're going to play him. I mean, this kid wants to play. He's a senior. He's our leader. So, no, he's all of what's advertised. I mean, he showed us here in the first half with the 12 points and 6 assists. And we'll see who starts in the second half here for New Mexico. It sounds like Kendall Williams may get the start.
Yeah, and Chad Adams, who did not start the game originally. So really just no word from the Lobos as to why those two guys did not start. But they are on the floor to begin the second half. And we'll see if that creates that rhythm that we're talking about. I think sometimes when you shake up your lineup, it takes a while to get used to.
Yeah, it does.
All right, so here we go. Second half is underway. South Dakota State starts with the ball. Carlson with it. Now to Fegan. Now to Walters.
A lot of picks by South Dakota State. Good ball movement.
And the fans trying to do that air ball chant every time Walters touches it. I don't know if you want to, he's the kind of guy you want to get too fired up.
You know, he's more like, maybe in that regard, he's more like Fredette. I mean, Scott Skiles, you do that too, he's just going to score 30 points. I mean, it just feeds the fire, you know.
Saw Scott Nagy there, unhappy that a foul was not called on that play. The ball did go out of bounds, and the Jackrabbits will keep it. Walters down the lane and lays it in.
I mean, it's just so easy.
Boy, he winces, though, as he comes back across the half-court line, and he's feeling a little bit of pain in that ankle. It is his right ankle. Inside it goes Kirk. Alex turns, spins, does not make the shot, but gets fouled, and Kirk will go to the free throw line.
Nice feed inside by Greenwood to Alex Kirk, who uses a drop step, misses and gets fouled. Now he's shooting 2 at the free throw line.
Dykstra's second personal foul, the first team foul this half on South Dakota State. Alex Kirk, 70% at the free throw line. Rolls that one in. Another $5 from Legacy Church to Operation Smile of New Mexico for every Lobo-made free throw. Kirk's second is also good. So both teams have scored here in the second half. The Pitt crowd will sit down. Steve Alford and his coaching staff hopes they won't be down for long. Walters lost it for a second, but recovers.
Asking for a high pick. Swings the ball.
Carlson. Greenwood cuts off that penetration. Walters comes off the screen. Left-handed dribble. Williams fights to the screen. Gets it to Fegan. Fegan misses. Missed it to the left side. Williams with an easy rebound. Now Kendall into the front court. Push Tony Snell for 3. And that rattles out. Snell got a good look. You want Tony Snell taking those kind of shots, but again, feed the post, I think the idea. Fegan runs straight over Chad Adams.
Great defense by Chad Adams. Good defensive effort. Got in the lane, and he kind of slid over to Fegan's left shoulder.
And in the last maybe 5 to 10 years, that's been almost an emphasis of college coaches. They actually asked their media relations staff, keep track of drawn charges, because it's basically creating a turnover.
It's one of those hustle stats.
Mexico still trailing by 4, 40 to 36. Kirk inside, off the glass, missed it. Walters clears the rebound.
It's the right idea New Mexico has, get the ball inside to their big.
Adams got beat on the dribble by Dykstra. Kirk had to help out, and that gave Fegan an opportunity to get open inside.
Great feed by Dykstra.
Lead back to 6. Adams tried to get it inside, and the ball was kicked. Coming over here toward us. You're going to protect me, right, big guy?
I got you. I got you covered.
I watch your hands during your college years. Good hands.
Mexico taking it out here under the basket.
Get it into Snell. Tony lobs it in. Kirk. Kirk, a little short hook, and he's short-armed it. Well, he got the shot he wanted, it just didn't go in.
He's got the last 3 shots he wants. Just hadn't been able to convert.
Dykstra for 3. Yeah. Boy, that's trouble. Lobos are down 9 again.
Yeah, it's, you know, they had a couple trips down. They had good stops, but this team is shooting the ball well, so you've got it. You can't give them any daylight.
South Dakota shooting 55% from the floor. Snell falls down, and that's a travel.
Yeah, it looks like he slipped.
Hit a wet spot on the floor. Tony Snell goes down. They'll try to help him back to his feet, but that's an automatic traveling violation. Gives the ball back to South Dakota State. And we played 3 minutes here in the second half, and South Dakota State leading by 4 at the half has added 5 more to that lead. Very quiet afternoon crowd here in the pit.
We were trying to figure out whether it's the the time of the game being in an afternoon, or if it's just, or maybe the shake of the lineup. But South Dakota State's playing good, very good basketball right now.
Dykstra will take another three. That one's a little long. Inside White got an offensive rebound, got fouled, I thought, but the Lobos on a breakaway, and Williams with a dunk.
Nice pass by Chad Adams to Williams for the dunk. And now the crowd standing up.
Well, the Lobos got a little bit of a break there, but they'll take it. They need that momentum. Snell takes it away from White. Tony down the lane. Snell up. Basket's good.
Nice steal by Tony Snell. Takes it the length of the floor and lays it in.
And in about 15 seconds, the Lobos cut a 9-point lead back to 5. Walters into the lane. Dykstra outside. Did everything but pull the trigger on that three. Now Walters backs it out. He's going to try to do a move on Williams here. Gets the screen, back out to Dykstra. Dykstra driving on Adams, and that's a blocking foul on Chad Adams. Pretty good call there.
Yeah, you know, it's those are tough calls. I mean, he's moving his feet, but he just didn't get there in time and get called for the block.
Now some fans trying to keep the other fans on their feet. They want the crowd to stay in this game, as the Lobos have built just a little bit of momentum. South Dakota State has had leads of 12 and 9 and 8, and the Lobos have cut into them, but they've never been able to catch up.
Yeah, New Mexico needs a little run here, but where they're going to get it's on the defensive end. Got to get a stop.
Fegan jump shot off the back of the rim, no good. Williams running, gives it off to Snell. Snell to Greenwood. And now the Lobos will reset a little bit. Greenwood tried to lob it inside. The pass was not there. Unfortunately for UNM, it was knocked out of bounds by Fegan. The Lobos will have the ball when we come back from the timeout. So it is a 45-40 lead for New Mexico. But the Lobos have their hands full with the Jackrabbits of South Dakota State in the pit. The Wiener Schnitzel dunk of the game. Right now, Wiener Schnitzel offering 5 chili dogs for only $5. So go in and try their famous original chili dogs today. Wiener Schnitzel, der Fun since '61. And after the Kendall Williams dunk, the Tony Snell bank shot has the Lobos back to within 5 and the crowd back into the game just a little bit, Hunter.
New Mexico needs to create opportunities on the defensive end for them offensively, because right now they're not shooting the ball very well. And I think South Dakota State's playing very good defense.
All right, so the Lobos with a chance to cut it to 3 or to 2. Greenwood, ball high over his head, was looking for Williams, and he couldn't quite shake White. Now Snell doing the same thing, and White's doing a nice job of keeping the ball out of Kendall Williams' hands. Williams working very hard to get it. Now Kendall into the lane. Turns, spins, left-handed shot up, no good. Bairstow tapped it out, but Walters got it for South Dakota State. So Nate Walters into the front court to Dykstra. Steve Alford called him one of the best 4 players, power forwards, that the Lobos will face so far this year.
That was a kid from Valpo. I can't remember when I say Bairstow or no, Brokaw.
Yep.
A lot like him.
There's an air ball fired up by Marcus Heemstra. So the Lobos with an opportunity to cut into that lead again.
Cameron was asking for the ball down low.
Greenwood back out Adams. Cross court Williams. Kendall wide open for 3. And that is off. And the Lobos just cannot get the 3-point ball to drop today. 4 out of 16 from long distance. It has not been their strength this year, Hunter.
And I think South Dakota State scouted that, and that's kind of what they're playing to.
And Greenwood pushed off on Heemstra underneath, trying to get that offensive rebound. They'll get Greenwood with a push. Hughes second, team second. He did that one right in front of the referee.
He did, yeah, it was obvious.
Sometimes you can get away with that when you're in a crowd, but it was just the 2 of them out there, and Hugh gave a little shove in the back. 14 minutes to go, 45-40, South Dakota State. Walters lost the dribble there for just a moment. Got it back. Adams on him now. Walters drives, and Adams is going to get called for the foul. Cutting off Walters' track to the basket.
Yeah, getting up a little gingerly there. is Walters. I think
he is hurting. There's no question he's hurting. Second personal foul on Chad Adams, third team foul. You know, some games, Hunter, in the pit, even if the Lobos are behind, you got to get a sense that they're going to be all right. Yeah. And in this game, you got to get the sense that this is going to be close all the way to the buzzer.
Close. Yeah, I mean, typically in the second half, New Mexico's notorious for their runs, and you know, so we're just kind of sitting here, and the fans are saying, okay, when are we going to go have our run?
Dykstra tried to get it inside. Nice job by Williams, dropping back down, and Walters going to get called for a blocking foul.
Yeah. That'll be his third personal.
So number 3 on number 3 for South Dakota State. He is a huge part of this team. Little hobbled, but playing a great basketball game today. 14 points, 6 assists.
Might not have been a bad foul, though. You know, New Mexico, you know, you want to stop their transition play, and so he did.
Snell takes a three-pointer. That one rattles out. And unless the threes start dropping for the Lobos, I'd make the suggestion at the next timeout to just keep feeding the ball inside to Bairstow and Kirk. It's Cam in the game right now, but South Dakota State with the ball. Prince outside. Tyvon Prince.
Well, they take very good shots. They're very patient with the ball. Although they've struggled here with 12 turnovers, they're still, I mean, they take good care of it, and they take good shot selection.
Boy, tough shot by Carlson.
Kendall Williams in his face. Yeah, I mean, it's a tough shot.
47-40 South Dakota State. Under 13 to go. Snell lobbed it in. Bairstow got in too deep, and I think he traveled. Yeah. Took a little hippity hop on the baseline. South Dakota State's basket there, their first basket in almost 5 minutes, but they played good enough defense to hold a 5-point lead through most of that. And now it's back up to 7. Demetrius Walker back in. Tony Snell will get a rest. Fenton comes in. Nick Banyard into the game for the Lobos. Walters to Fegan. Thought about a jump shot, decided not to. Biddle back in for South Dakota State. They get it inside. Walters down low. Left-hander after he got control on the baseline to score.
And Walters sitting there with 16 points, 6 assists.
Now, the last time South Dakota State was in this building was in March in the NCAA tournament. They lost to Baylor. They may be pulling off a huge upset here in the pit today.
Yeah, they're very comfortable, and they're doing exactly what they want to do. The Lobos really haven't interrupted their play. I mean, they're getting the shots they want, and so I don't know. This could be a upset here in the making.
Syracuse has already lost today, so the Lobos currently one of 7 undefeated teams in Division I basketball. That is at risk right now. Williams misses the shot from the corner. Here come the Jackrabbits. Walters trying to move on Fenton this time. Knows he's got the height advantage here. And Nate Walters goes back outside to reset. Bounce pass. Well, I think he was trying for Carlson. Either Carlson or Heaps, or Carlson fell down. So it's a turnover on Walters. Now it goes out of bounds, and we've reached the under 12-minute timeout. Well, South Dakota State has come into the pit, and they are right now leading the Lobos by 9. It's Lobo basketball from Learfield Sports. All right, there's Scott Nagy, head coach, 18 years. Says spent 9 years at Division II and then made the transition to Division I. Says loves raising his family in South Dakota, 5 children. Safe place to live. Enjoys it up there. And is having some success with South Dakota State, maybe pulling off one of the best wins for their program in a number of years. Fenton lobs it inside Bairstow. Let's see if the Lobos can get something going on the inside. Back out now, Williams. Williams to Fenton. Jamal takes the three, and there's a three for Fenton.
A rare
Long
three.
time in coming.
Yep.
4 out of 21 this year, but that one is a big one. Draws the Lobos to within 6. 49-43.
Inside to Fagan. Got the freshman Nick Baynard on him.
Williams stripped the ball away from Walters. Walters got inside, had post position. I think Williams got a hand on it to knock it out of bounds.
You know, maybe this New Mexico team is overlooking South Dakota State. I mean, they've got a big one coming up here on the 27th in Cincinnati. And that might be the case.
Walters comes off the screen, picked up the dribble. Now gets it back from Dykstra. Walters into the lane, you can't give him that shot.
And that's even a tougher shot. That nice little 15-foot in-betweener pull-up jump shot. But you can't give him any space. He's going to knock it down.
18 for Nate Walters.
Nate Walters, he's got to be responsible for about 70% of their points.
Walker into the lane. That's a nice drive by Demetrius Walker. Nobody stopped him, and he said, I'll take it all the way to the rim.
And he's been quiet. I mean, he really needs to come out. And, I mean, he and Jamal Fenton have been the two that come in and add that energy and off the bench. And Jamal's knocked down a three, and he's had some penetration for a layup. So let's see if the Lobos can count on their bench.
Now, we played 3/4 of this game, 30 minutes, and the Lobos' last lead was at 3-2. Walters off balance shot. That one was a tough one, and Banyard got a rebound as it dropped down to him standing flat-footed. Lobos within 6. Fenton almost lost it, got it back outside. Looking for some help. It's a Bairstow inside to Banyard, and Banyard missed the layup. And they wanted a foul call, but no call there. Carlson at the other end. That's a three-point miss. And Bairstow and Dykstra battling for the loose ball, and Dykstra will be called for the foul. And I believe that's 3 on Dykstra. 15 foul.
You know, the fans were wanting a foul over here. Looks like when Nick Baynard was going up, he kind of got butted a little bit. You know, he got boxed out at the time he was going up for the shot, so fans were looking for a foul.
All right, South Dakota State has called a timeout here with 9:16 to go, 51-45. The Jackrabbits lead. We'll come back to the pit. Demetrius Walker down the lane for 2.
Look for the New Mexico Lobos to have a couple of runs here. I mean, that's what they need. To just the energy level's a little low. But if they, you know, dunk, a three-pointer, something.
Banyard gets it to Demetrius Walker. Fenton outside, trying to look inside, or trying to get it to Kirk. Instead, Fenton's going to take a 3, and Jamal is 2 for his last 2.
And that gets the fans out of their seat.
Now this is the closest the Lobos have been since the first half. Some momentum here. Carlson, 3. That's on White, excuse me, he missed it. Kirk with a rebound. Williams into the lane. Walters cuts him off. Banyard trying to set a screen. Fenton. Jamal's hit his last 2 3-pointers. Walker to Fenton, back out to Jamal. Now to Banyard. Williams down the lane, gets it to Kirk. Short jump shot. Tough one, short-armed it. And it's rebound Walters.
It looks like Alex Kirk's just kind of being a little too soft with the ball. He just needs to shoot it. He's kind of aiming it.
And Dykstra knocks down the 3-point shot. Every time New Mexico gets close, South Dakota State has an answer.
They've got an answer.
Credit those kids from South Dakota State. Williams in the corner. Now to Fenton. Lead back to 6 for the Jackrabbits. NCAA tournament team last year, won 27 games. This is not one of those programs that you would call a cupcake.
Nope.
5 on the shot clock for UNM. Fenton moving. Now a lot of trouble. Fenton turns it over. Shot clock violation, and we have reached the under 8-minute timeout. A lot of unrest.
Great defense by South Dakota State.
A lot of unrest in the pit in Albuquerque as the Lobos trail by 6 to a pesky, good shooting South Dakota State team. 54-48 South Dakota State. You got to give these South Dakota State kids a lot of credit. They just got done with a 1,200-mile bus ride, Hunter. They have been away from their homes. They haven't been back to campus in 10 days. This is their 10th day away from home, and they are coming in and beating a team that hasn't lost in the pit since 2004.
Yeah, no, they're coming in scrappy. Their attention to detail. I mean, looking at the stats, although they have 14 turnovers, they're shooting the ball better than 50% from the field and 45% from the three-point line.
Walters down the lane, scores, and is fouled.
And that's basically on 1.5 feet. He only has like 1 foot. I mean, he's sitting here limping on his right ankle's swollen.
Well, that was a I'm taking over kind of play.
Yeah.
Let's just draw up a play in the huddle and say, Nate, go and do what you do.
Yeah. And part of the strategy is, hey, if I have a layup, great. But if I get to the free throw line, that's even better.
Walters has 20, a chance to make it 21, and to put South Dakota State up by 9. SDSU.
Yep.
He's got me bamboozled.
Yeah, this team's a very good free throw shooting team.
Walters about a 77% free throw shooter. Very good. So a 9-point lead. Williams into the lane, and he gets fouled. It's not on Walters, it's on Carlson, I believe.
Referee calls it a 2-shot foul.
Carlson's third, 16 fouls.
Sends Kendall Williams to the free throw line.
Now, important right now for the Lobos to score with the clock stopped, because as the clock continues to run, it's nervous time.
I don't know, Coach Alford is yelling at someone over there. I'm not sure if it's his team or the referee.
Legacy Church donates $5 for every free throw made to Operation Smile. 2 more, another $10. Lobos within 7, 57-50.
Fans are asking for a stop here.
Dykstra puts it on the floor, lost it, but Walters, Nate on the spot in this case. Just love to watch great players play, Hunter. And Nate Walters is a great one. Snell loses it. Battle for the loose ball. Dykstra flies in and banks it in.
Great play by Fagan. He dives on the floor, gets his teammate the ball. Dykstra takes it in for a layup. You got to give South Dakota State credit. I mean, they're coming into the pit here and they're just playing hearts out.
A 9-point lead with 6 minutes left. Williams up and under. Can't get it to go, but that's going to be foul number 4 on Braden Carlson.
It looks like New Mexico and Kendall Williams are trying to create something instead of trying to run their offense and take what the defense gives you. It didn't sound like actually they're not giving them much, but Kendall's trying to create something here in the second half.
Williams misses the free throw. Unhappy about that. Well, Hunter, if there ever was go time, it's now for the University of New Mexico Lobos. They have not led in this game since it was 3-2. Williams' second free throw, and that one hits glass, hits rim, but also the bottom of the net.
Full court, man to man.
I don't think they have any choice at this point. They got to force some action here. Dykstra in a little bit of trouble, but gets it front court. Now Biddle, and that'll give on a wide open 3 to White, who missed it. Snell with a rebound. Tony will just take it himself across the line to Greenwood, into the lane. You back out Snell. Snell to Williams. South Dakota State's done a nice job of stopping penetration, cutting off baskets. Williams tried to sneak it up and score, but got fouled.
I mean, again, Kendall Williams recognizing he's a freshman on him, and he takes it to the hole, gets fouled, now he's at the free throw line.
5:34 to go. If he makes 2 here, Williams can cut the lead to 6. South Dakota State still has 4 timeouts. I'm sorry, 3 timeouts. The Lobos have 4 timeouts left.
Yeah, that's what you want to do, is get to the bonus before your opponent. But you got to convert those free throws.
Now, Kendall Williams missed an opportunity there to get to 1,000 points in his career. He's now at 999, and that was just obvious. Biddle almost said, "I want you to call a charge on me."
Hey, it's a freshman. It's a freshman.
Just lowered his shoulder and buried his shoulder right into a man standing right there. Who drew that charge? Was it Bairstow?
Yeah, it was Bairstow. And it's funny because the referee's like, "Look, wait a minute, is this real? Did he just do that?"
Steve Alford saying, "Go, go, we need possessions." So the Lobos want to hurry it up the tempo here a little bit. Adams way outside to Williams. The Lobos look a little frustrated and out of sorts offensively. And South Dakota State's done a nice job of stopping dribble penetration. Williams, a very difficult shot. Adams got inside for a loose ball rebound, and they'll call Chad Adams for the foul.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was a foul, but it's a great hustle by Chad. Again, Kendall Williams is having to try to create, and South Dakota State's just shutting down all opportunities.
Kelly Self, Brad Ferry, and Hal Lust, the officials. And time is running short on a Lobo cutback here. South Dakota State now willing to run a little clock. And when you got Nate Walters with the ball, that's probably a really good idea.
Sitting at 21 points and 7 assists.
Directing traffic now. He doesn't make it in the NBA, air traffic control maybe in his future. Loses the basketball. Lobos with a chance to get some points. Get a turnover. Greenwood deep inside, and Biddle fouled him, and Greenwood will go to the line with 4:22 to play.
Freshman Jake Biddle picks up 2 quick fouls off the bench.
That's team foul number 10 on South Dakota State. So Greenwood will shoot 2. Well, the first serious challenge to the Lobos' undefeated season, and you're watching it right now. Only one other time in New Mexico history have the Lobos started better than 12-0. Trying to become the second team to go 13-0. Greenwood 1 out of 2. Walters, see if he takes over down the lane. Fans wanted to travel. They're going to get a foul on a Lobo instead. Kendall Williams picks up the foul, his second.
Smart heads-up play by Walters. I mean, he gets in a painted area. No one stops him, so he just continues to go inside. He knows he's going to get fouled and get to the free throw line. So it's just, it's kind of one of those things where when you're playing a kid like this who's just heads up, he knows how to score the basketball, and part of that is getting to the free throw line.
Walters rattles that one out, so it's 1 out of 2 for him. And Steve Alford wants a timeout. They'll call a 20-second timeout here, I think. It's a short timeout. So we will keep it here. Be sure to stay tuned at the conclusion of the game for the Santa Ana Star Casino play of the game. We're going to highlight the best Lobo play of the game. Santa Ana Star Casino, New Mexico's best bet. Oh, I say this a lot, Hunter, but when you take a 1,200-mile bus ride, maybe one of those things it does is galvanizes your team. It just says, hey, we've got to overcome adversity, and maybe that draws your team closer together. South Dakota State's been fabulous today.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely, it takes you out of your comfort zone. You're not at home, and so you kind of band together, and maybe that's what you're seeing here with New Mexico. They're just so comfortable, and it kind of maybe they're overlooking South Dakota State because they've got Cincinnati up next. So and then there's an afternoon game, then your lineup gets shaken up, and so.
Yeah, confluence of issues, but I'll give credit to South Dakota State. They've outplayed the Lobos today.
Yes, they have.
So far, Tony Snell gets fouled, and this is the one thing I think Scott Nagy, you look at him over there on the bench, he's just exasperated because he's like, we're winning by 7 points, and we continue to stop the clock and give the Lobos free throws.
Yeah.
Look at him.
And, you know, the Lobos haven't really been shooting characteristically. They shoot a high percentage from the free throw line, but today they're struggling now. Tony Snell knocks down his first one.
At the free throw line, the Lobos 1 out of 2 again. So that is 14 out of 20, 70%. It's not bad. It's just not Lobo-like.
No, they typically shoot like 78%.
And 1 or 2 more in this game may make a huge difference.
New Mexico needs to stop here.
Lobos have really picked it up on defense. They've done a much better job defensively here in the second half. South Dakota State with only 22 second half points. Walters squeezes it from 3. Loses it. Lobos trying to get the rebound, but Fagan gets it for South Dakota State. Huge offensive rebound. Biddle for 3, and I think that was ill-advised. They had a chance to run another 30 seconds off the clock. They're going to get Dykstra with foul number 4, and Tony Snell's back at the line when we come back. Now the Lobos get a little breath of life there from a freshman mistake by Biddle, taking a quick 3 when South Dakota State had just gotten possession back. It is 60-54. South Dakota State with the lead over the Lobos. Can UNM make a late run? All right, 3 days until Christmas. A lot of Lobo fans hoping for a early Christmas present, a 13th win for the Lobos, and a bunch of guys in black and gold uniforms are saying, bah humbug.
That's right.
South Dakota State, a 6-point lead with 3:14 to go. Although Tony Snell, without any time running off the clock, can cut that lead to 4. First one is good. Lobos 15 for 21 at the charity stripe. And again, they shoot 76%, third in the nation, so 71% is not bad. That's not where they're losing this game today. It's from the field where they're shooting 36%. UNM within 4. Walters trapped in the backcourt, but now gets it across with about 2 seconds to spare. You have 10 seconds to get it across the line.
Looks like South Dakota State's going to probably work a little clock.
Isolate Walters.
Yeah, penetration and get to the free throw line.
And Walters threw it away.
Good defense by Kendall Williams. Lobos get a stop here.
Well, Walters got deep inside. I thought he was going to shoot that ball, and I think maybe Chad White did too, because he cut the wrong way and Walters threw it out of bounds. Lobos can cut this lead to 1 with a 3. Snell inside Kirk, lost the ball going up, and they call a charging foul on Alex Kirk.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I mean, kind of went around him, but
Greg Neal jumped up off the bench and yelled at Tony Snell saying, shoot that ball. He wanted Snell to shoot the 3-point shot. Kirk wasn't exactly ready for it. I didn't
like there's a little wet spot on the floor here.
Almost didn't think that they needed to make a call there either way.
Yeah, that was a play on.
The Kirk charge, so that is his first, and now South Dakota State in the bonus, 17 fouls.
Lobos picking up full court here, man to man. Actually in a 1. What is this?
2-2-1.
Yeah.
Dykstra in trouble, but gets it away to Carlson. Carlson to White. White will take the 3, missed it, got a long rebound. Kirk got caught flat-footed, and that was a gift because White shouldn't have been shooting that shot.
Well, White went 3 for 3, and he's just been cold ever since from the 3-point line.
Early triggers for South Dakota State, but now Walters with the ball, and he'll use a lot of this shot clock. Carlson, Dykstra, way back outside Walters. Nagy says spread out. Walters down the lane, runner, good.
So he started the game with that little runner.
Well, that might be the shot right there that puts the Lobos away. We'll see if they've got some rally in them, but less than 2 minutes to go. And it is a 6-point lead. It's still just 2 possessions, but the Lobos haven't been able to make threes. Here's Snell, see if he can make one. No. Rebound to Fagan. And the Lobos and their fans realize they are in big, big trouble.
Yeah, less than a minute and a half here to go.
Now the bench is picking out which guy to foul if Walters ever gives up the ball. And I don't think he will until Kendall Williams puts a little pressure on him. And I think the Lobos got to get out on Walters and make him do something. 9 seconds on the shot clock. 1:10 in the game. Walters launches a bomb, and Snell comes down with a rebound. Well, that was not a good offensive possession, but a lot of clock used. Snell three-pointer short. Rebound South Dakota State. Lobos have to foul now. 54 seconds to go, and they're saying get a foul. And White is fouled by Tony Snell. Well, Tony Snell couldn't get a couple of threes to go, and South Dakota State looking good now with less than a minute to go. And look at the fans heading for the exits.
Now this South Dakota State team, you've got to hats off to them. They come in, like you said, went through a 1,200-mile bus ride to get here, and you know, coming into the pit against the Lobos, ranked 16th in the nation. They're handing them the loss.
White makes both free throws. The lead is 8, 64-56. Lobos have really got to hurry now, and they got to get some three-point shots or get fouled. Williams trying to get to the lane, and Carlson is fouled out. There's Scott Nagy again saying, guys, don't foul.
Coach Nagy's is so, every time that whistle blows, he just throws his hands up. He's, what are we fouling for? Do not stop the clock.
Carlson fouls out of the game. And Scott Nagy will use some time. He'll get Biddle back in. Kendall Williams at the free throw line. He can get to 1,000 points in his Lobo career, the 30th Lobo to do that. One of them sitting right here next to me.
Yep, there's a timeout call.
South Dakota State will take a timeout. I don't know this is to ice Kendall Williams as much as it is to get the guys over there and to remind them, don't foul and run as much shot clock as you can.
The South Dakota State team is very heads up. You know, it's interesting. You look at the stats, and they've got over like 16 turnovers. But you know, what's kept them in the game is a high percentage of shooting.
1,745 points, by the way, for Hunter Green.
Coach. One of the coaches, one of the scouts here, Jim Thrash, with Charlotte Bobcats. It's a great opportunity for some of these New Mexico kids to perform, but unfortunately, South Dakota State wasn't having it.
46 seconds to go. Kendall Williams at the free throw line. New Mexico down by 8. Gets these 2, that can be big. South Dakota State's still gonna have to give up the ball at least once. They can't run too much clock, and they're not the greatest free throw shooting team in the world. Williams misses 1 out of 2. 54 or 64-57. Walters gives the ball up to Fegan. Fegan cross court to White, and White is fouled by Snell. So White goes back to the free throw line with 35 seconds left.
South Dakota State playing hot potato with the ball. Fans yelling, foul, foul. They were trying to, but they had great ball movement. Couldn't foul the guy with the ball until they fouled White.
They are moving Hugh Greenwood down to the bottom of the lane. Tony Snell back out. Greenwood a little bit better rebounder. White at the free throw line. Calmly sinks the free throw. White knocks that one in. And the student section really didn't even make any noise.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just kind of interesting that this crowd has been out of this game the whole time and really hasn't had any reason to be in it. Williams buries a long three, and the Lobos get a quick timeout with 30 seconds left, still down 6. And crazier things have happened. The Lobos were down by 5 to George Mason, I think, with 21 seconds left.
Virgin Islands, that's true.
So,
the rhythm, we talk about that. The Lobos just haven't had it all game. You look at the fans in the student section. I mean, everyone's just kind of standing with their jaws wide open, kind of going, what's happening here? So I don't know. It's just, it's the time of the day, the lineup shake, the shake-up in the lineup. Here, Steve Kindle knocks down that 3. Is it too late, or is there still a little fight left in the Lobos here?
Well, we will see here in the last 30 seconds, but you can make a lot of excuses. The South Dakota State team that's come in here today played better than the Lobos.
Yes, they did.
Plain and simple.
Yep. No question about it.
A couple of the Lobos leaving town for a quick Christmas break. They'll be back on Christmas evening. They'll have a practice in the pit Christmas night, and then we'll go off to Cincinnati on the 26th to play an ESPN2 game on the 27th against the Cincinnati Bearcats, one of what looks like soon to be only 6 undefeated teams in the country. And the Lobos will have their hands full, obviously trying to avoid a 2-game losing streak.
Yeah, I mean, Cincinnati, I've watched them play very physical, very athletic, a little different style than South Dakota State has, but a different type of challenge for New Mexico.
All right, 30 seconds to go. South Dakota State has the ball. Dykstra to inbound. Thanks to those of you watching us on Root Sports Rocky Mountain and Root Sports Northwest. But gets people at Root Sports Northwest really enjoying this game today. Dykstra looking for some help, and he calls a timeout. Couldn't get it in. Good defense by the Lobos, forcing the timeout. South Dakota State still has 2 left in their pockets just for that eventuality.
Yeah, what they're going to do is pick up full court, foul. Now, who do they foul? Right now, I don't know. When you look at that South Dakota State team,
White's a 61% free throw shooter. He's made 4 in a row.
Yeah. So who do you foul? I mean,
Little is in the game. He's 4 out of 5 this year, but a freshman might wilt under a little bit of that pressure. Fegan's 65%. Their best shooter is Walters. He's 77%. The Lobos have 3 or 4 guys who are better than that, but he's a guy you don't want on the line.
Well, you may not have the luxury to pick who you foul. You may just have to foul whoever gets the ball, because we're sitting with 30 seconds left here.
Williams will face guard Walters. Dykstra's going to try to get it into him.
Typically, whoever you're going to foul, you let him get it, touch it.
There's Walters, has it in. Walters throws it ahead, and now it's lost. But it goes right back to Walters. The bounces haven't even gone the Lobos' way today. And Steve Alford's asking if that's over and back.
Yeah, it may be a good question, because I wasn't sure. I think it hit the freshman.
In the front court, if it hit and the officials, I don't know if this is reviewable.
No.
Kelly Self over there at the free throw line. But they say no, and Walters is going to go to the line. Nate Walters, 5th player in NCAA history to average 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists in a season. He did that a year ago. 11 career 30-point games. He has 25 right now. And now 26.
3-possession game.
Kendall Williams picks up the ball quickly down floor. Walters backpedaling. Williams all the way to the rim and scores. And Steve Alford calls a quick timeout. He has 1 left.
Well, the Lobos have a sense of urgency, and they're still fighting in this. I don't know if there is a fight left in this, but they're still fighting to see if they can keep their undefeated season.
Remember a game at Colorado State a few years ago? Lobos were down by 5 with 11 seconds left.
Yep.
Got it to overtime and won that game. As I mentioned earlier this year, about 21 seconds left or so. Got that game with George Mason with the Snell three-pointer at the buzzer. But 12 seconds ago, it was a 6-point lead, and it's still a 6-point lead for South Dakota State.
You know, you like the New Mexico body language. I mean, they kind of, you know, it looks like they're still in this, and they're going to fight to the last second.
The Lobos put a lot of quickness into the lineup here with Banyard, Adams, Thomas, Williams, and Greenwood. No post players in right now because they need to get in front of guys and not foul, and Greenwood fouls before the ball or before the clock even starts. So I guess if you're going to foul, that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, you just got it so you don't lose any time on the clock. So maybe now you know the goal is maybe you trade threes for twos and
double bonus for South Dakota State. Although if you're a Lobos, you don't want this guy at the free throw line.
You know, they keep stats, and I wonder what he shoots the last 2 minutes of the game. Some players could shoot a higher percentage in the last 2 minutes of the game versus throughout the game. So
Walters with the free throw puts South Dakota State up by 7. Well, after hearing that Walters was limping, after hearing what the South Dakota State team had to go through the last 48 hours, I don't think very many of us expected what we're seeing in the pit today. And again, you got to just credit the grit of South Dakota State. I don't think this is nearly as much of a Lobo issue as it is a South Dakota State issue. Williams a long three, and for some reason, Kendall Williams is really good at pulling up from about 30 feet at the end game. He did it against George Mason in the Virgin Islands. He's done it twice here today. It cuts that lead to 5 with 13 seconds to go.
Yeah, again, they're trading the three ball for the 2 points that South Dakota State's making at the free throw line. So if you had enough time, maybe this could work, but 13 seconds.
Now Kendall is at least 7 or 8 feet beyond the 3-point line.
Shoots from the Lobo head, as they call it.
So about a 27, 28-footer. Lobo fans just kind of shell-shocked.
Yep.
A lot of them have left already.
And this is the biggest crowd that South Dakota State's played in front of this year.
Their home arena, about 6,100.
They played in front of like 12,000 in Alabama this year, but they've had some tough road games.
Dykstra trying to inbound, gets it into White. White, and they're calling a jump ball. Possession arrow belongs to the Lobos.
Yeah, 10 seconds left on the clock. New Mexico has the ball out of bounds underneath the baseline.
And it was almost a bad thing that the Lobos forced the jump ball because they waited so long to call the jump. The time that went off the clock was damaging for UNM, but obviously getting the ball back,
this is
something
be a good thing if you can get a 3 out of this, or at least 2 points. And
the Lobos have no timeouts. Kendall Williams way outside, drives into the lane. Williams scoops it up, missed it, put it back up, missed it again. Now Greenwood scrambles and Walters has it, and this game is over. As Walters throws it up in the air, and South Dakota State has shocked the 16th ranked New Mexico Lobos in the pit.
Wow.
We saw it a couple of years ago with Central Florida, didn't we?
Yeah,
and saw it again.
Weren't expecting it, especially after South Dakota went through, the conditions they went through to get here, and to come in and defeat the New Mexico Lobos, ranked 16th in the country.
Had to lead the whole game. We want to say good night to our friends of the Root Sports Network.